Hello and welcome everyone to Reload Revelation, the show where we break down gear, talk about guns, keep you up to date on the Second Amendment community, because honestly, someone's got to do it, and I'm already crazy. I'm Ryan Souls. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this content, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications, and as always, let's get down to it. So on our first segment today, we have an update on House Bill 137 in New Mexico. Now here's the thing. It's not just about 137 anymore. They just added House Bill 129 in New Mexico, which is going to try to instill a 14-day waiting period to buying a firearm in the state of New Mexico. Now, weirdly enough, they already tried doing this once already with House Bill 100. And one of the sponsors, if not the only sponsor, Andrea Romero, Democrat representative, had this to say to her local news. House Bill 129 is a 14-day waiting period before getting access to a firearm. The reason why we know that this type of legislation works is because a waiting period for those who might do harm to themselves or others is basically a cooling off period to make a better decision, potentially to those who have access. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure criminals uphold a 14-day waiting period. I'm going to go rob this bank, but I'm going to take my 14 days. Yeah, it really doesn't work all that well for that. Criminals will never, ever abide by gun laws. Why? Because they don't care about the law. What Romero is doing is targeting citizens that have been law-abiding since the day that they were able to, practice their rights. And she's trying to take them away. Now, mind you, they're going to listen to these in the committee tomorrow, which is going to be very interesting to hear. I'll keep you up to date on that. However, one of the representatives has already kind of beaten me to this point in New Mexico. So that's Representative Jack Chatfield, who, mind you, love the man's style. This is what he had to say. I'm not sure how removing any weapon from the law-abiding citizens will make me safer. It makes me less able to defend my home and family from those people that are now law-abiding citizens. I think we have plenty of gun laws on the books as is, background checks, we have waiting periods. The problem is, we are not prosecuting the criminals. Couldn't have said it better myself, Cowboy. I love his style. I will give him that. He's a good man. I mean, look at this guy. I just want to protect my family and my home. That's it. However, do I think these are going to pass? Probably not. Are they going to go up to the Supreme Court to be unconstitutional?
Where Texas National Guard soldiers, some of whom you can see behind me, have been setting up and assembling razor wire to repel migrants from swimming across the Rio Grande and entering the U.S. illegally. By suspending this lower court ruling, the Supreme Court is saying that the Biden administration can now remove that razor wire that Texas has put in place to process migrants.
Who am I kidding? They got their hands full. However, they just added House Bill 114 to this whole litany of bills going through New Mexico right now. It's really turning into the guinea pig of the gun rights advocacy for this year. And weird, it almost seems like the election is triggering this stuff. But House Bill 114 is just another ham-fisted bill that they're trying to shove down people's throats in New Mexico, and it's going to drive out the industry, flat out. It's going to drive out the industry to the point where the economy of New Mexico, their state economy, is going to tank because a lot of people out there just like to have fun, shoot, hunt, you name it. But for people like this, yeah, it's going to be different. So I pray, and I hope that you pray, that this stuff doesn't go through. A suspected shooter from Chicago was found dead in Texas from a self-inflicted gun wound. Reason why I'm telling you this is because mainstream media, they're not going to tell you this. Why? Because it doesn't fit their narrative. He also used a handgun, allegedly. Now, the reason why that's an important factor is because, according to statistics, the handgun is the most commonly used weapon in mass shootings. It is not rifles, it is not shotguns, it is not something in between. It's because handguns are concealable, they can get them on the black market, no problem. But of course, let's go on to our next subject, the breakdown of the supposed rifle that really a lot of people are going to have a good time with. They're going to be a little familiar. I'm going to keep reminding you because it reminds me. With House Bill 137, this would still be banned. Because detachable magazine, even though it's 20 round, still bad. In the past videos, we talked about the modern AR. This one is a little bit different. It's a little bit more old school. However, it has stood the test of time ever since back in Vietnam War, where they started issuing these rifles. So we're going to go up and down this rifle, explain it, and all that good stuff. So first off, we're going to go right down to the muzzle device, which they came with two muzzle devices. They came with this birdcage style and a tri-prong style. Kind of in between. I mean, you see them both. As period correct goes, this is totally fine. So a couple cool things about this is that the front and rear sights are permanently fixed to the barrel and to the upper receiver. This is how it was, and it comes with a integrated carry handle. As far as peep sights, you got two of them. You flip it back for long distance, flip it forward for short range distance. And this sight post on the top is adjustable. Comes with a bayonet lug. That'd be kind of a cool thing to try out. Where you, yes, they had bayonets in Vietnam too. Clip them on. One of the famous movies that, I mean, there's tons of Vietnam movies, but one of the ones that is just my absolute favorite is We Were Soldiers. It's got Mel Gibson, Sam Elliott. So we get to the handguard. It's a triangular handguard. You can really see in there the gas tube that goes down the barrel. This barrel is 20 inches, 4 more inches to the legal 16 that it has to be. And the reason why that is because 223 and 5.56 have a wonderful ballistics coming out of a 20-inch barrel. And when you start shortening it all the way to 16 and below, if you're going to get fancy, you start to lose a lot of that energy. A lot of that ballistic energy goes down, and you really get a law of diminishing return when it comes to shortening your barrel. So really, the longer the barrel for a 223, the better it is. So we go down to the upper and lower receiver where they meet. Got a big delta ring to hold the handguard in place. These, got to tell you, I'm glad they got rid of these. Not a fan. But the carry handle integrated into the upper receiver, love that. The mag well, which is the part where you stick your magazine in, it's got a little bit of nice room in there. I mean, I can easily get it in there, no problem whatsoever. Pop it out. It's got a standard charging handle with one latch. Pull it down, you open up your dust cover, you can see the bolt in there. Nice and simple. Now, of course, you can show clear. On the other side, you got your standard safety selector, your bolt release as your other part of your magazine release button. Stock trigger, mil-spec trigger. This is an A-1 pistol grip. The A1 you could tell is different because it doesn't have a finger groove. Now this is made out of a Bakelite material. Bakelite is just a really fancy word for plastic. It's just what they had in the time. It was very durable for the time being, but of course plastic has made a huge comeback. I'm looking at you, Magpul. So of course on the other side we have our failure button. I like that term, failure button, from Brandon Herrera. Does a nice job. But you got your forward assist right here in case your bolt locks up. Push that. Send the bolt back home. It's actually got a little flange right here, which is interesting. However, I can dig it. I like it. All the way on the back, we have a full buttstock, non-adjustable. Gives you more stability. But you can't adjust it for you. It was just basically, here you go. If it doesn't fit you, guess what? Too bad. We don't care. Time to go to war. And that is the basic M16 A1. Now, for a disclaimer, this is a AR platform that is modeled over the A1 because, of course, I don't want to be a felon. This only has semi-automatic capabilities. On the regular M16, you would have the capability of a third switch, a third selector, and that would be because it went fully automatic with 20-round mags. Honestly, if I had to say something, I'm going to say my hot take for the day. I like the 20-round mags. I like how it's straight. They come out nice and easy. You can push it in with one finger if you want. It's nothing too crazy. So to take it apart, it's super simple. Like any AR, you push out that swivel pin all the way till it locks. You'll see it swing out just like so. Pull the charging handle. Your bolt carrier group is going to come out. And of course, your charging handle, just like so. And now you can put this section away just to make sure that you don't want to break it. So then, to make sure that this is all functioning correctly, we're just going to check everything. To check everything, you're going to take that little pin out, that cotter pin that's holding in your firing pin. I'm going to check to make sure this is pretty much good to go. Push the bolt down, turn your cam pin, extract your cam pin, pull out your bolt. It's all good. Reverse the process to put it all back together. Push it back in, turn that 90 degrees, just like so. Make sure it works by giving it a nice little pull. Take a firing pin, rock it from the back. Make sure it goes all the way in. Swing it over, push that pin back in. Check to make sure that's good. Set it to the side, grab your rifle. Push that pin out, swing that forward. Charging handle goes in first into those teeth, those little grooves. Push that bolt, lock it in, push that pin back in, and make sure that you have working manual of arms. Super simple. So when it comes to gear, when I'm at the range, I want to have everything kind of at the ready for me to use. So I picked up one of these, which is very nice. It is it's a range belt. Now, a range belt is just usually a two-piece belt, one inner, one outer layer, and you strap it on just like a regular belt, and it's really cool. So this one is a Viking Tactical two-piece belt. At the front, it's got a Cobra belt clip, which is really cool because it's Cobra. Who doesn't like Cobras? And it just clips in like so. You pull these two tabs, pull it out, push it back in. Much like on the Beretta video, this is the other half of the QLS system with a mid-rise paddle. So honestly, if you like this, it's very cool. All you do is just meet the two pieces together, slide it on, and now your holster is on with a leg strap. I recommend having a leg strap because when you have something like this, you don't want the paddle holster or even this mid-rise like paddle to be wavering on you. So just strap it down like that onto your hip. To the back, we have a dump pouch, which I usually keep closed. I'm very particular, but if I want to have some fun, if I want to try it out, all you got to do is you pop it open. It folds out like that, and you can see that it just really opens up to a nice solid pouch. And of course, it's got a drawstring on the outside, just like so, which draws it on the inside. Cinch it all up to make sure you're not going to lose anything when it comes to your magazines. On the next part, we have a tearaway med pouch, which This is my project for the year. I'm trying to get medical gear in here so that when I go out to the range, I'm obviously being safe. But it's very simple. You unlatch that latch and you can just rip this off the Velcro tab, and you can administer first aid to yourself or people, depending on who you have or what you're doing. Trust me, this is the last thing I want to use, but I definitely want to be prepared to do so. Coming over to the left-hand side, I got my rifle pouch. That's a nice little Kydex bungee pouch. Got it on sale. Wasn't too crazy. With one AR mag. And then I got a dual pistol mag pouch with my Beretta mags in there. It's very nice. This belt is very, very sturdy when it comes to putting these on. However, if you look on the inside, I did put a little piece of Velcro just so it's got more contact with the inner belt. And then finally, on this belt, there is a carabiner, which it's not rated for rappelling or nothing like that. This just holds my gloves on the belt when I'm not using them. So, let's get this on. So one of the cool things, I got an extra super wide shot now, so I'm going to stand up, so mind the camera, is that I can sit down in this and be relatively comfortable for having a whole bunch of gear on my hip. Another cool aspect is that if it really comes worse to worse and I don't have the inner belt, I can always strap it on the outer belt, and we can just see that it can work. It's not optimal, but it can work. So much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you like this content, do me a favor, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and as always, remember these 5 rules. Never point your firearm at anything you don't intend on shooting. Know what is behind your target at all times. Be aware of your surroundings. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. And as always, have fun. I'm Ryan Sills for Reload Revelation. I appreciate you sticking around for this video. Now go catch some R&R.